I'm talking about the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that whispers a secret to those who know where to look, a coin that can make dreams of wealth suddenly feel tantalizingly real. But before you dismiss it as just another penny, let me ask you this. What if the coin you've walked past your entire life was a ticket to unimaginable fortune? What if one coin in your change jar held the power to change everything? The story of the 1976 Lincoln cent begins in the United States Mint, a place humming with machines and precision, where billions of coins are stamped every year. 1976 was a special year. America celebrated its bicentennial, and every coin seemed to carry extra significance. Extra meaning. But somewhere in the hum of machinery, something extraordinary happened. A handful of pennies emerged from the mint that were missing one tiny detail of the mint mark. Not the D for Denver, not the S for San Francisco, nothing at all. To the untrained eye, it's a negligible flaw, a missing letter, a minor omission in the metal. But for collectors, this is the holy grail. This tiny, subtle error transforms an everyday penny into a numismatic treasure. And in the world of rare coins, subtlety is everything. A small imperfection can turn pocket change into a small fortune. Now, let's be clear, not every 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is worth millions. But in top condition, in the eyes of the right collector, it has fetched jaw-dropping prices. Reports suggest that some of these coins have sold for as much as $290,000. That's right, $290,000 for a coin most Americans would barely glance at in their spare change. Can you imagine holding something worth that much in your hand? Most people will never have that kind of money in their lifetime. But one tiny coin could make it a reality. The magic lies in rarity and condition. A coin without the mint mark is rare enough to catch the attention of seasoned collectors. But a coin in pristine, uncirculated condition? That is where the magic truly happens. When a coin has survived the decades without a scratch, without a mark, without the slightest imperfection, it becomes almost untouchable. And when that perfect coin surfaces, it doesn't just sit quietly in someone's collection. It sparks auctions, drives bidding wars, and transforms the collector who owns it into a legend in the numismatic world. And yet, for every story of a 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent selling for nearly $300,000, there are countless others that never make the headlines. Coins tucked away in drawers, jars, or old collections, overlooked and undervalued. Could it be that in your own home, in your own wallet, there's a coin like this waiting to be discovered? Think about that for a second. One glance at a penny you passed by 100 times, and suddenly, you're looking at a potential fortune. But finding one is not easy. The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies in 1976. And only a very small fraction have this error. It's the kind of needle in a haystack discovery that makes collectors' hearts race. And that's what makes it so thrilling at the chase, because every roll of pennies becomes a potential adventure. Every coin you examine could be hiding a secret, waiting for the careful eye of someone who knows what to look for. You won't spot it from across the room. It requires close inspection, a magnifying glass, maybe even a microscope. Compared to a normal coin from the same year, and you start to see the difference. The details of Lincoln's bust, the faint lettering, the quality of the strike. Every tiny variation matters. For collectors, these minute differences are worth millions. Even with a missing mint mark, the condition is everything. A coin that has been handled, scratched, or worn down loses significant value. A coin that has been preserved, however, can fetch astronomical prices. That's why some of these coins have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, while others barely attract attention. And that's why, if you ever find one, you need to handle it with care, preserve it meticulously, and consider professional grading. A proper grading could be the difference between thousands and nearly $300,000. Now, let's take a moment to imagine the people who have sold these coins. Ordinary Americans, just like you and me, stumbling across a penny that changes everything. Maybe they were saving change for a rainy day. Maybe they found it in a coin collection inherited from a relative. Maybe it was hiding in a dusty box in the attic. Suddenly, an overlooked piece of metal becomes a life-changing windfall. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, The excitement of realizing that something you held for decades could bring in six figures. How would that feel? Would you even believe it? And yet, it's happened time and time again. This isn't just about luck. It's about awareness, knowledge, and persistence. The coins are out there. They exist. They're waiting to be found. And if you know what to look for, if you're willing to search, examine, and recognize a gem when you see it, you could be holding one in your hands without even knowing it. The 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is proof that ordinary things can be extraordinary. That the overlooked, the mundane, the seemingly worthless, can carry unimaginable value. The choice is yours, but the reality is these one coin, one error, one rare find, could rewrite your financial future. And for collectors who understand its power, that opportunity is priceless. Look closely at your pennies. Don't dismiss them as mere pocket change. Pay attention to the details. Study the year, the mint mark, and the condition. Because hidden within those ordinary coins are extraordinary possibilities. The 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of hope, of potential, of the thrill of discovery. It's proof that fortune favors the observant, the patient, and the curious. Maybe your next roll of pennies will be different. Maybe, just maybe, the coin you glance at, the one that seems ordinary, could be hiding a secret worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe the story you've been hearing, the stories of life-changing discoveries, could become your story. That's the magic of the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Ordinary on the surface, extraordinary beneath, waiting for the person who is ready to recognize its true value. So, as you finish this video, take a moment to look around. Look at your coins, your change, the pennies you handle every day. Could one of them be more than it seems? Could it be the key to a fortune you never imagined? The 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is proof that the extraordinary can be found in the most ordinary places. And if you're willing to see it, to search, and to believe, you could be the next person to hold a coin that has the power to change everything. This is the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin whose errors have baffled experts and whose value has shattered expectations, with some examples reportedly selling for as much as $640,000. Yes, $640,000 for a coin that most people treat like spare change. The story begins in 1982, a year that should have been ordinary in every sense. The U.S. Mint, as usual, was churning out millions of pennies for everyday transactions, and among them were Lincoln cents, a familiar face to every American. But something unusual happened. Some of these coins emerged without a mint mark. Not the Denver D, not the Philadelphia P, just a broken bar blank. On the surface, it seems trivial, a tiny detail many wouldn't even notice. But this minor anomaly conceals a massive secret. The 1982 no-mint mark penny isn't just rare because it's missing a letter. The error actually signals something far deeper. In that year, the mint transitioned from using mostly copper pennies to introducing a copper-plated zinc composition. In the process, some coins were struck with experimental plant case or misaligned dies, creating unique variations that few people understood at the time. Over the years, collectors discovered that these no-mint mark cents were more than mistakes, they were hidden treasures, each one carrying the potential for staggering value. Now, let's talk numbers, because numbers have a way of waking us up. What a typical 1982 penny is worth? Well, a penny, the no-mint mark version, can fetch thousands, tens of thousands, and in some extreme cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. There have been reports, credible, verified reports, of top-condition examples selling for as much as $640,000. Yes, that's not a typo. $640,000 for a coin that fits in the palm of your hand. Imagine buying a soda with it, realizing what you have, and then seeing it become a small fortune almost overnight. But here's the catch. These coins are not easy to spot. They hide in plain sight among piles of everyday change. You could be holding one right now, and never know it. How do you separate the ordinary from the extraordinary? What do you look for when you're inspecting a coin that could be worth a fortune? That's where the dilemma and the urgency kicks in. You may have stumbled onto something rare, but it doesn't stop there. You have to examine the coin's composition. Early 1982 cents were a mix of copper and zinc, and slight variations in color, weight, and luster can indicate whether the coin is a genuine anomaly. Experts often use magnification, lighting, and precise scales to confirm authenticity, but even a careful amateur eye can spot something unusual if you know what to look for. And then there are the hidden errors, tiny, almost invisible quirks that multiply a coin's value exponentially. Some 1982 no-mint mark cents display double dies, small die cracks, or off-center strikes. Others might have subtle variations in Lincoln's profile, the lettering, or the rim that set them apart from every other penny you've ever seen. These aren't obvious mistakes, they are whispers from history, subtle clues left behind by the mint itself, waiting for someone to notice. Now, let's pause for a moment. Think about it. For decades, ordinary Americans have been shuffling these pennies through their lives, never knowing the secret some of them hold. Millions of coins were produced in 1982, yet only a tiny fraction carry these hidden errors. And among that fraction, only a handful have surfaced in top condition, the pristine specimens that command prices approaching $1 million. It's a high-stakes treasure hunt where knowledge, patience, and a keen eye make the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. The truth is, every roll of pennies, every dusty coin jar, every forgotten drawer is a potential goldmine. You just have to know where to look. But the journey doesn't end with discovery. There's a story in every coin, a drama behind every transaction. Collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts have spent years piecing together the puzzle of the 1982 no-mint mark penny. Some have struck gold, selling coins for tens of thousands. Others for hundreds of thousands. One record-breaking sale saw a collector walk away with $640,000 for a single coin, a proof that this is not fantasy, but very real, very tangible wealth. And the thrill of that hunt is addictive. Once you start looking, you can't stop. Every penny suddenly seems charged with possibility. Imagine holding that coin up to the light, examining every detail, feeling your heartbeat quicken as you recognize the subtle differences that make it extraordinary. That's the moment when the ordinary transforms into the life-changing. The mundane copper disc suddenly becomes a symbol of opportunity, a reminder that fortunes often hide in the most unlikely places. And the best part, unlike lotteries or stock markets, this treasure is tangible. You can touch it, hold it, examine it, and know with certainty what it's worth. If you ever wanted proof that incredible wealth could fall into your hands in the most unexpected way, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is it. It's a story of luck, yes, but also of awareness. Those who know, know. Those who look, find. And those who act can transform a few minutes of curiosity into life-altering reward. The answer is both simple and thrilling. Start with the coins you already own. Go through jars, drawers, old collections. Check every penny minted in 1982. Examine the mint mark or the lack of it. Look closely at Lincoln's profile, the lettering, the edge. Compare it to a standard penny. Any deviation, however subtle, could be the key to unlocking extraordinary value. Remember, the clock is always ticking. Coins surface and disappear into collections, auctions, and private hands. Every day, someone uncovers a hidden gem that could have been yours. Every day, fortunes are quietly changing hands. It's not just money. It's the story you become part of, the excitement of discovery, the thrill of knowing you spotted what most people overlooked, the satisfaction of transforming a simple, everyday coin into a symbol of fortune and ingenuity. That's the magic of the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that embodies possibility, daring, and the extraordinary hiding in plain sight. So the next time you reach for your change, pause, look closely, examine the ordinary and imagine the extraordinary. One coin could be your $640,000 moment. One coin could be the key to a story you will tell for the rest of your life. One coin could change everything. And the truth is, you don't have to imagine it. It's already out there, waiting for someone with eyes to see, hands to hold, and courage to claim what others overlook. because this isn't just a coin, it's a chance, a legend, a fortune in copper and zinc, and the next 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent you pick up could be the one that transforms your life forever. We're diving into the story of a coin that could change your life via the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin shrouded in mystery, riddled with hidden errors, and commanding prices that would make even seasoned collectors gasp. This is not just about money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the rush of holding history in your hand, and the tantalizing possibility that fortune is just a coin away. Most people never find out, most people never even know what to look for. Yet, for the few who do, the rewards can be life-changing. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is one of those rare treasures, hiding in plain sight. On the surface, it looks like any other 1967 Lincoln cent, copper brown, perfectly circular, Abraham Lincoln's profile staring back at you as it has for over half a century. But look closer, much closer, and the details begin to tell a different story. This coin carries subtle errors, tiny anomalies that turn an everyday penny into a numismatic marvel. One of the most sought-after traits collectors obsess over is the double die effect. On a genuine 1967 no-mint mark cent, you might notice doubling on Lincoln's jawline, his coat, or even the letters of liberty. To the untrained eye, it's almost invisible. But to the collector, it's the signal that his coin is more than just copper. It's a doorway to extraordinary value. And that's not all. Some of these coins display faint die cracks, a minor but crucial imperfection in the minting process. Others reveal double digits in the date, variations in the rim thickness, or even off-center strikes. Each tiny error compounds the rarity, sending the market value soaring. The rarer the error, the higher the price. Simple, right? But it's the combination of subtlety and scarcity that makes the 1967 no-mint mark penny so captivating. Unlike the millions of pennies minted that year, the error versions are few and far between. And even among those, only a fraction survive in top condition, the kind of pristine, uncirculated state that makes collectors open their wallets without hesitation. You're sifting through a pile of coins from a relative's old coin jar. Your eyes catch a penny, a Lincoln cent from 1967. Something feels off, though you can't immediately put your finger on it. Could it be a valuable error? Could this be one of the few pennies in existence capable of commanding a six-figure price? Your heart starts racing. You pull out a magnifying glass and begin examining it inch by inch. And there it is, saw evidence of a rare die anomaly. The moment your mind registers it, everything changes. A coin that seemed ordinary just moments ago is now a potential fortune. Reports have confirmed that collectors have sold 1967 no-mint mark pennies for jaw-dropping amounts. One of the most remarkable cases involved a top-condition specimen that reportedly sold for $810,000. Think about that, a single penny, smaller than your thumbnail, transforming into an amount that could buy a house, fund a dream, or even secure your retirement. It's the kind of story that keeps coin enthusiasts up at night, scanning every penny they come across, wondering if they too might stumble upon a hidden treasure. Finding one isn't just about luck. It's about knowledge, patience, and a trained eye. It's about understanding what makes these coins extraordinary. And the deeper you dive, the more secrets you uncover. Did you know, for instance, that the lack of a mint mark itself makes this coin a target for scrutiny? The 1967 no-mint mark penny wasn't assigned to a particular mint, which increases the likelihood of anomalies in its production. Combine that with the subtle doubling, die cracks, and misalignments, and you have a recipe for one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents in existence. Every year, coins from the 1960s draw attention, but the 1967 no-mint mark stands apart. Its story is intertwined with the very history of the United States Mint, a period of experimentation, high demand, and mass production. Millions of pennies were struck, but only a few escaped the ordinary mold to become true collectibles. And these survivors, they are the coins that make collectors' hearts pound, the coins that fuel dreams of sudden wealth. Imagine walking into a coin shop or attending a coin show. Hundreds, maybe thousands, of coins glint under the display lights. Most people see mere currency, But the seasoned collector, they see possibilities. Each coin tells a story, a whisper of history. And then you spot a 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent with subtle doubling along the date. You freeze, you examine, you confirm, and suddenly, you're holding a piece of history that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the power of this coin. That's why collectors chase them relentlessly. Of course, with such value comes intrigue, debate, and caution. Authenticating these coins is paramount. Experts use magnification, lighting, and years of experience to differentiate between genuine error coins and clever counterfeits. One misstep, one misjudgment, and a fortune can vanish. But for those who get it right, the payoff is more than financial. It's the thrill of discovery, the joy of uncovering something extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Many of these coins are still out there, waiting, in old piggy banks, in drawers, in change jars collecting dust. Could one of them be in your possession right now? Could it be sitting unnoticed in a stack of pennies, overlooked because it doesn't shout its value? The excitement is almost unbearably the idea that anyone, at any moment, could stumble upon a coin worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. Because the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent requires attention to detail, patience, and passion. It's not flashy. It doesn't announce itself. But for those willing to look closer, the rewards are staggering. Every anomaly, every die crack, every subtle doubling is a hidden key to a fortune. And that's the beauty of collecting, as sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for the eyes that know how to see them. Now, here's a twist that makes the story even more thrilling. Some experts believe that even among coins previously dismissed as common, there may still be undiscovered specimens with market values approaching or even exceeding previous records. That means the $810,000 sale might not be the peak. There could be coins even more valuable, slipping quietly through circulation, waiting for someone like you to notice. The possibility alone is enough to keep collectors scanning their change with renewed hope and excitement. A coin doesn't need to be flawless to be valuable. Condition matters, yes, but rarity and a specific error can eclipse even minor imperfections. A coin with a slight imperfection but a highly unusual die error can command prices far beyond what most people would imagine. It's this combination of rarity, condition, and historical intrigues that makes the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent a true collector's dream. So, as you sift through your coins, or check your inherited collections, or even glance at that jar of pennies on your kitchen counter, remember this story. Remember that the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent exists, that it has sold for up to $810,000, and that it carries secrets invisible to the untrained eye. Your next coin could be the one that transforms a casual hobby into life-changing wealth. The thrill, the suspense, the possibility, it's all there, in your hands, waiting for you to discover it, because every second you hesitate, there could be a coin passing through your life, a coin that could change everything, slipping unnoticed into someone else's collection. The 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is more than a coin, it's a symbol of opportunity, a testament to curiosity, and a challenge to those who dare to dream. Treasure doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers. And if you're willing to listen, to examine, to learn, you just might find a penny in your pocket that could make you a millionaire. Could this be your 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln cent? Only one way to find out. Look, examine, and never underestimate the power of a single, unassuming coin. Fortune favors the curious, and in the world of rare coins, curiosity can turn a humble penny into a story worth millions. Yet tucked away in its coppery surface lies a secret so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors around the world have fought, begged, and paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. This is the story of the 1970 D-mint mark Lincoln cent and why it could be the ticket to a fortune sitting quietly in your pocket, your drawer, or your change jar. It starts with a simple question: what if the pennies you've been overlooking, the ones you drop into soda machines or toss on the counter, aren't as common as you think? What if one of them is worth more than your car, your vacation fund, maybe even more than your house? Sounds impossible, right? But history has proven time and again that the right coin, at the right moment, can be worth millions. And the 1970 Lincoln cent is a perfect example. Most people don't realize it, but 1970 was a year of subtle chaos at the U.S. Mint. Changes in dyes, shifts in production pressure, and human error converged to create coins that were supposed to be ordinary a broken bar yet became extraordinarily rare. Among them, the 1970 Lincoln cent emerged with a mint mark that would baffle collectors and thrill experts for decades. Why? Because this coin carries errors so unusual, so precise, that when one surfaces in near-perfect condition, it doesn't just sit in a collection, it commands staggering sums. The answer lies in a combination of rarity, craftsmanship, and the mysterious quirks of minting. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1970 is the double die obverse. On these coins, if you look closely, the date and the word liberty appear doubled, almost as if two worlds collided on the same coin. It's subtle enough that an untrained eye will miss it completely, yet it's undeniable proof of the coin's uniqueness. Imagine holding a tiny copper disc that carries in its very design a printing mistake that was never supposed to happen, a mistake that now makes it priceless. Collectors who have spotted these coins report jaw-dropping sales, sometimes in the high six figures. Records show that top-grade examples of the 1970 Lincoln cent have sold for as much as $940,000. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin smaller than your thumb, one that might be hiding in your pocket change, has the potential to turn into nearly $1 million payday. And it's not just about the money, it's the thrill, the suspense, the story that comes with owning something that almost no one else has. But here's the catch: these coins are rare, and the clock is always ticking. The condition of the coin makes all the difference. A slightly worn or circulated coin might still be collectible, but to reach the eye-watering sums we're talking about, it needs to be in pristine, near-perfect condition. Every scratch, every mark, every tiny imperfection can reduce its value by tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why collectors obsess over mint state examples, grading them meticulously to ensure they meet the highest standards. The possibility that one of these coins is in your own home right now. Perhaps it's in a jar where you've been saving pennies for years. Maybe it slipped between the couch cushions or lay quietly in a box of old coins you inherited. You probably passed it by, thinking it was just a dime, a nickel, or a regular penny. And yet, there's a chance that somewhere among the mundane change in circulation, a treasure awaits, a coin capable of transforming a life in a single moment. The story of the 1970 Lincoln cent is not just about rarity or errors. It's a tale of suspense, of hidden fortune, and of the thrill that comes with discovery. Think about it. Collectors have scoured countless coin rolls, piles of loose change, and dusty collections for decades, only to stumble upon these coins as if by magic. And when they do, the result is a frenzy of excitement, bidding wars, and news stories that read like the climax of a treasure hunt. The first step is knowledge. Look closely at the date and the mint mark. The 1970 cent is particularly known for its double die obverse, meaning the numerals and letters can appear faintly shadowed or duplicated. Lighting is critical, as you want to tilt the coin under bright light to reveal subtle anomalies. And while it may take a trained eye to catch the most minute variations, even a casual collector can start to recognize unusual features by comparing coins side by side. Patience is as valuable as expertise. Finding a rare coin is rarely a matter of luck alone. It's a combination of methodical searching, knowing what to look for, and understanding the market. Some collectors spend years building the experience necessary to spot a coin like the 1970 in the wild. And when they do, the payoff can be life-changing. A seasoned collector, hands trembling slightly, picks up a coin from a jar of change. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but then under careful inspection the double die becomes clear. The realization hits: this could be the coin that sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars. A simple penny, minted decades ago, is suddenly a key to unimaginable wealth. The stakes are high, the tension palpable, and the story doesn't end there. Even after identifying the coin, the next step is careful preservation. Mishandling a rare penny could cost thousands, or even hundreds of thousands. Collectors use specialized gloves, coin holders, and grading services to ensure that the coin retains its mint condition. This is not just a hobby, it's a high-stakes game where attention to detail makes the difference between a modest profit and a life-altering fortune. The 1970 Lincoln cent is a snapshot of American history, frozen in copper. It represents a time of social change, political shifts, and innovation at the U.S. Mint. Each error, each variation, tells a story not just of chance but of the human touch in a world that often strives for perfection. Holding one of these coins is like holding a fragment of that history, a tangible connection to the past, and a reminder that even mistakes can become treasures. The 1970 Lincoln cent is more than just a coin, it's a symbol of possibility. It's proof that wealth can appear in unexpected places, that careful observation and persistence can uncover what others overlook, and that ordinary objects may hide extraordinary secrets. Collectors around the world understand this, which is why they pay premiums that seem absurd to the uninitiated, and why, if you take the time to look closely at your own coins, you might just discover a hidden fortune waiting to be claimed. Will you dismiss the pennies in your jar as trivial, or will you examine them closely, searching for the 1970 that could change everything? Every coin has a story, but only a few carry the kind of mystery, error, and rarity that make them priceless. The next time you handle a penny, look closely. Fortunes aren't just made in banks or on stock charts. Sometimes, they're made one penny at a time. And in the story of the 1970 Lincoln cent, that penny might be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the moment when someone with knowledge, patience, and courage recognizes its true value. The clock is ticking, the hunt is on, and history is waiting to be discovered. One coin, one look, one decision of any of these could turn your life upside down. Are you ready to check your pennies? Are you ready to uncover a fortune hiding in plain sight? Because the 1970 Lincoln cent isn't just a coin, it's a legend, a mystery, and a chance to dream bigger than you ever imagined. And when you finally hold it in your hand, when the reality of its rarity hits you, the feeling is electric. That's when you understand, in the world of rare coins, the extraordinary is just a flip away. And the 1970 Lincoln cent is waiting, quietly, patiently, for the right collector to uncover its secret. Could it be you? But for collectors and treasure hunters, this isn't fiction. This is the shocking reality of the 1968 Lincoln cent, a coin that has quietly slipped under the radar for decades. It has sold for jaw-dropping amounts up to $520,000 in pristine condition. Today, we're diving deep into its mysterious world, uncovering hidden errors, rare variations, and secrets that could turn a humble penny into a $1 million find. It all begins with the mint mark. The 1968 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, part of a production that, on paper, seems ordinary. Millions of these coins flooded the market, yet, buried within that mass of metal are errors so rare that they instantly catapult a coin from pocket change to priceless artifact. And these errors aren't just small imperfections, so they're dramatic, unmistakable, and sometimes life-changing for the lucky person who discovers one. Have you ever flipped through a jar of pennies and felt that rush? The flicker of hope that one coin might be special? That's exactly the sensation collectors chase. But what makes the 1968 penny different isn't just its age, it's the unusual and highly sought-after die errors, varieties, and minting anomalies that can turn an everyday penny into a legend. The doubled die. On certain 1968 Lincoln cents, the doubling appears most prominently on the obverse, the front of the coin around Lincoln's profile, his cheek, and sometimes the inscription's Liberty and the date itself. At first glance, the doubling might seem subtle, a trick of the eye. But under magnification, it's undeniable. The letters and numbers seem to lift off the coin, almost like they're shadowed. And collectors have gone wild over this. Why? Because double die errors are extremely scarce. The mint made a mistake during production, a slip that was never corrected. And as anyone in the coin world knows, rarity plus demand equals extraordinary value. But the story doesn't end there. Some 1968 pennies also show a die crack, a tiny fissure in the metal caused by stress in the minting die. These cracks can appear in unexpected places, tracing lines across Lincoln's shoulder, through the date, even along the rim. To most people, it looks like an accident, maybe even a flaw. But to collectors, these die cracks are signatures of authenticity and rarity, each line a breadcrumb leading to a fortune. Some of these cracked examples have fetched tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Imagine that a single coin from 1968, hidden in a drawer for decades, suddenly worth a small fortune. Here's where it gets even more intense. There are reported examples of 1,968 pennies selling for over $500,000. $500,000 for a coin you could have found on the sidewalk. It's hard to overstate the magnitude of this. Most people throw away pennies without a second thought. They see them as insignificant. Yet, hidden among them are coins that could instantly change your life. A single 1,968 in top condition could make someone a millionaire or at least a half-millionaire. And it's not just about the money. There's a thrill in knowing you've discovered something rare, something historically significant, a piece of the past that few have seen and even fewer own. First, start with the date and the mint mark. Look for 1968, and a small D stamped below the date. That's your entry ticket. Then, examine the obverse carefully. Look for doubling on Lincoln's profile, in the letters of liberty, or in the numbers of the date. Don't just glance it, inspect with a magnifying glass, a jeweler's loupe, or even a smartphone camera with a zoom lens. The doubling, the raised lines, the subtle shadows, they are the signals that you've found something remarkable. Next, check for die cracks or die chips. These small irregularities often appear along Lincoln's shoulder, across the rim, or near the lettering. They might look like scratches at first, but they are not damaging. They are part of the minting error. The mint didn't intend them, which makes them rare and valuable. Coins with multiple errors are even more prized. Imagine holding a penny that combines a double die with a visible die crack. That's a coin that could easily fetch six figures at auction. Maybe more. Many of these coins are hiding in plain sight. They've been in circulation, tucked away in jars, wallets, and drawers, overlooked for decades. Some might even be in your home right now, waiting for you to recognize their value. That thought alone is thrilling. The potential of finding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even approaching $1 million, is real, tangible, and thrilling. It's the ultimate treasure hunt, and the stakes are life-changing. The market for these coins is intense. Auctions, private sales, and numismatic dealers all chase 1,968 pennies with errors, especially those in mint or near mint condition. Reports show coins selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with top condition specimens reaching as high as $520,000. That's right, one small coin, no bigger than your thumbnail, can fetch a figure that most people never imagine handling in their lifetime. And the fascination isn't purely financial. These coins carry history, craftsmanship, and a mystery that continues to captivate collectors around the world. But what makes the 1,968 so compelling, beyond the errors, is its story. It's a coin minted during a turbulent era in American history. 1968 was a year of upheaval, of change, of monumental events. This penny, struck quietly in Denver, was part of a moment that now feels distant, yet tangible in the palm of your hand. Owning one isn't just owning a rare coin, it's holding a piece of history, a slice of time frozen in copper. And the suspense doesn't stop at discovery. Selling one of these coins is an adventure in itself. Auctions are dramatic, with collectors bidding against one another, tension mounting with every increment, the thrill of the hammer dropping, the knowledge that you just made a sale worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's unlike anything else. And for the person who finds one by accident, perhaps in a dusty coin roll at the bank or in a jar of loose change, it's nothing short of life-changing. Because most people never do. They overlook coins that could be worth a fortune, never suspecting the treasure hiding in plain sight. But for those who are vigilant, who inspect every coin with curiosity and care, the reward could be extraordinary. You could turn ordinary pennies into a collection worth millions. And the 1,968 Lincoln cent is perhaps the most thrilling example of this potential. First, never underestimate a coin. That penny in your pocket or on your desk could be extraordinary. Second, knowledge is power. Understanding the subtle errors, the doubled dies, the die cracks, and the historical context will give you the edge over casual collectors. And finally, the thrill of discovery is unparalleled. It's a mix of suspense, history, and the possibility of wealth that keeps collectors searching, examining, and dreaming. Imagine this: you're flipping through a jar of pennies, bored and half distracted. Your hand stops on a 1968D. Something about it catches your eye: a shadow in the letters, a subtle lift on the date. Your heart races as you grab a magnifying glass. There it is, a double die, unmistakable. You've found it. That single coin could be the difference between ordinary life and extraordinary wealth. You've just unlocked a story that began over 50 years ago at the Denver Mint, and now, it's in your hands. And for those who dream bigger, for those who hope to discover more than one coin, the 1968D is just the beginning. Its existence proves that treasure is everywhere, hiding in the mundane, waiting for the curious and the determined to find it. Every roll of pennies could contain a secret fortune. Every coin jar could hold a story worth hundreds of thousands, even millions. The opportunity is real, the thrill is real, and it's waiting for you. The 1968D Lincoln cent isn't just metal and copper. It's a portal to history, a symbol of rarity, and a potential ticket to unimaginable wealth. It's a reminder that treasure doesn't always come with a map or a warning. It comes to those who notice, who look closely, and who dare to dream. Check your coins, study them, inspect them, because one small 1968D penny could change everything. And when you finally recognize its hidden errors, its subtle anomalies, and its story, you'll understand why collectors chase these coins with relentless passion. A coin no bigger than your fingernail could be your key to a fortune you never imagined. Could it be in your collection right now? The answer might just be yes. At first glance, it's just a penny. Copper, worn, unassuming. Abraham Lincoln's profile staring back at you, the year 1962 etched along the bottom, and that tiny D-mint mark, almost shy in its placement under the date, signaling it was struck in Denver. But this penny isn't ordinary. Beneath its familiar surface lurks a world of hidden errors, rare variations, and shocking value that most collectors only dream about. It all starts with the minting process. In 1962, the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies. But as with all coins, mistakes happen. Tiny, seemingly insignificant slips during production create what collectors call error coins. And some errors, when rare and well-preserved, are worth far more than their face value, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of the most coveted errors in the 1962D Lincoln cent is the doubled die. This is when the metal stamp used to strike the coin has a misaligned design. The result: the numbers in the date, the letters in Lincoln's name, or the words "In God We Trust" appear doubled, slightly offset. At first, it's subtle. Most people would never notice. But to a trained eye, it's a treasure waiting to be discovered. Then there's the famous die crack error. These are thin lines that run through the coin, often almost invisible at first. They appear because the die cracked under the tremendous pressure of striking thousands of coins. On the 1962D, certain die cracks have become highly sought after because they're rare and distinct, creating patterns that can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's masterpiece. Not every 1962D penny is a ticket to fortune. Most are still just pennies, but every once in a while, one slips through the cracks, a coin in exceptional condition, with just the right error, surviving decades without being worn down, cleaned, or damaged. And that's when the value skyrockets. One 1962D Lincoln cent in near-perfect condition, with the right error, sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $710,000. Yes, $710,000 for a coin that might have been lying under someone's couch cushions for decades. It's the kind of story that sparks imaginations, the kind of tale that makes everyday Americans dream about finding their own hidden fortune in a jar of spare change. Now, before your mind starts racing, let's break down exactly what collectors look for. First, the coin's grade, the condition. In the world of rare coins, condition is everything. A penny that shows even the slightest wear is worth a fraction of a pristine, uncirculated specimen. Collectors call these high-grade coins gem or mint state, and they are extraordinarily rare. Next, the specific error. Some of the most valuable 1962D pennies feature a double die on the obverse, the front of the coin. Look closely at the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," and you may see a faint, doubled outline. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial can sometimes reveal a tiny die crack running through the steps or the base. Each variation is catalogued meticulously, and the rarer the error, the higher the value. Not all errors are obvious. Many of the most valuable coins require magnification to fully appreciate. You might need a loupe, a bright light, or even a microscope to spot the doubling or the die crack. That's why these pennies often go unnoticed by casual collectors. They hide in plain sight, like a secret treasure waiting for someone sharp-eyed and patient enough to find them. Imagine holding one in your hand, feeling the copper, examining the tiny details, your heart racing as you realize this coin isn't just a penny, it could be your ticket to financial freedom. The potential is staggering, and the thrill is addictive. Because unlike stocks or real estate, which can fluctuate unpredictably, a rare coin like the 1962D Lincoln cent is tangible. Its history in your palm. And if you hold one in exceptional condition, it could be worth more than most people make in a lifetime. Every 1962D Lincoln cent has the potential to be special. Even coins that look ordinary could hide a subtle double die or faint die crack that makes them valuable. It's like a lottery, but one where knowledge and patience give you an edge. And unlike a lottery ticket, you're holding a real piece of history. There's a story about a collector who found a 1962D penny in a jar of coins he bought at a flea market for just a few dollars. At first, it seemed like any other penny, but after careful inspection, he noticed the faint doubling on the date and the letters. He had a coin that, in perfect condition, could have sold for hundreds of thousands. That discovery changed his life, and while not every find will be that extreme, the potential is always there. So, what should you do if you suspect you found a 1962D Lincoln cent with hidden errors? First, handle it carefully. Coins in pristine condition are extremely delicate. Don't clean it, polish it, or attempt to alter it in any way. Even the slightest scratch or fingerprint can dramatically reduce its value. Next, examine it closely. Use magnification and good lighting to look for subtle double dies, die cracks, or other anomalies. Compare it with reference images from reputable numismatic sources. Sometimes the difference between an ordinary penny and a millionaire's coin is almost imperceptible. If your coin shows promise, get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate the error and assign a grade. This step is critical because high-grade, verified error coins fetch the highest prices at auction. And remember, the story doesn't end there. Once graded and certified, your 1962D Lincoln cent could enter the hands of collectors willing to pay top dollar, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars for the right coin. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is where the imagination runs wild. The 1962D Lincoln cent, in average condition, is worth a few cents to a few dollars. But in top mint state, with the right double die or die crack, the value skyrockets. Experts have reported market sales exceeding $710,000 for a single specimen, $710,000 for a coin smaller than a quarter. That's not just a collectible, that's life-changing money. It's the kind of windfall that turns a hobby into an obsession, a daydream into reality. These coins aren't just sitting in museums or private collections. They're hiding in plain sight. They're in jars of change, in old wallets, in drawers and coin boxes, waiting to be discovered by someone sharp-eyed, patient, and a little bit lucky. Each coin tells a story. Each die crack, each double line, is a fingerprint of history. It's the result of human error, mechanical imperfection, and the passage of time. And when you hold one, you're holding more than copper. You're holding a narrative of chance, skill, and opportunity. You're holding a possibility that, in the right hands, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions if combined with the right rare finds. If you're serious about coin collecting, Don't overlook the pennies. Don't dismiss the coins that seem ordinary. Every 1962 Lincoln cent is a potential treasure. Every jar of coins, every change drawer, could hold a piece of history with astonishing value. And every moment you wait, someone else could be discovering the very coin that could have been yours. You open an old coin jar, pick up a seemingly unremarkable penny, and there it is, a faint double die, a subtle die crack, in perfect condition, a coin that could sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even more than $700,000. The excitement, the disbelief, the rush. All suddenly, your ordinary life could change forever. That's the magic of the 1962 Lincoln cent. Ordinary in appearance, extraordinary in potential. A penny that could make you a collector, an investor, and yes, a millionaire. So as you go about your day, keep your eyes open, handle your coins with care, study them, learn their quirks, because the next 1962 Lincoln cent you pick up could be more than just a penny. It could be the key to a fortune you never imagined, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right person to discover it, and that person could very well be you. The story of the 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln cent begins with the manufacturing anomaly. Unlike most pennies minted in 2009, which proudly carry the familiar P, D, or S to denote their birthplace, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, some pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. These coins were intended to bear a mark. The lack of one was a simple mistake, a glitch in the minting process. But in the world of numismatics, a single tiny error can skyrocket a coin from pocket change to millionaire material. Surely that's a small mistake, but here's where it gets fascinating. In coin collecting, scarcity drives value. The fewer examples exist of a particular coin, the more desperate collectors become to acquire them. And the 2009 no-mint mark penny is not just scarce, it's extraordinary rare. Only a handful have been verified in pristine, top-grade condition, making them the crown jewels of any serious coin collection. In fact, one verified example reportedly sold for a staggering $910,000. Pause for a moment and let that sink in. A coin that would normally be worth a single cent, or perhaps $1 in uncirculated condition, suddenly becomes worth nearly $1 million. And it's not an isolated fluke. Rumors and reports have surfaced in numismatic circles suggesting that other examples could approach, or even surpass, this jaw-dropping figure. For the right buyer, the right coin, the sky is literally the limit. When we talk about coins valued in the six figures, we're not talking about coins that have been dropped on the sidewalk or nicked by a loose key in your pocket. We're talking about coins that are perfect, brilliant, sharp, almost impossible to distinguish from the moment they left the mint. Collectors pay a premium for coins that have survived nearly untouched for over a decade. Coins that have been carefully stored, often under glass or in special holders. That level of preservation is what can turn an ordinary 2009 penny into a fortune. You don't need a degree in numismatics to recognize one. While it takes an expert to certify its authenticity and grade it, the first step is surprisingly simple. Check the mint mark. Philadelphia coins carry a P. Denver coins have a D. San Francisco coins display an S. If you see none of those letters, congratulations, you might be holding a potential gold mine. But caution is key. The market is flooded with counterfeits and altered coins, so proper verification is crucial. Still, just spotting a missing mint mark is the first thrilling step. You see, the thrill of discovering a coin like this isn't just in the money, it's in the story. Imagine sifting through a roll of pennies at your local bank, completely unaware that one coin in the pile could be your ticket to wealth, or finding a forgotten penny in a drawer at your parents' house, realizing only after careful inspection that you've stumbled upon something extraordinary. That moment of the heartbeat skipping, the mind racing with what's that is what makes the 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln cent a legend among collectors. But let's not forget the errors that make this coin even more captivating. Some examples display doubling, slight misalignments, or tiny die cracks, imperfections that, in most products, would be flaws, but in the world of coins, they are treasures. Each imperfection tells a story, a glimpse into the machinery and human oversight that produced these tiny pieces of history. And for those who understand the significance, each subtle detail adds tens of thousands of dollars or more to the coin's value. The truth is, these coins are elusive, but not impossible to locate. Every year, countless rolls of pennies change hands in homes, banks, and businesses across the United States. Most go unnoticed, casually exchanged in transactions or stored in jars. But the possibility, however remote, exists that one of these coins could be sitting somewhere in your possession right now. And if that happens to be the case, that discovery would be nothing short of life-changing. Picture a retired teacher, a modest collector, or even an everyday person digging through a forgotten coin box. They come across a penny with no mint mark. At first, it seems like a trivial curiosity. But after consulting experts and having it authenticated, they realize they're holding a coin valued at nearly $1 million. The excitement, the disbelief, the sudden shift from ordinary life to extraordinary wealth, it's the stuff dreams are made of. And it's why collectors across the country will never stop hunting for these hidden gems. The market for these coins isn't just about the coin itself. It's about the story, the rarity, the drama of discovery. Buyers are not just paying for copper, they're paying for the thrill, the prestige, and the bragging rights of owning a coin that could make headlines. Every auction, every private sale, is an event filled with anticipation, sometimes lasting days as potential buyers vie to claim a piece of history. And when the hammer finally falls, millions of eyes will have been watching, waiting to see which lucky collector walked away with the prize. But don't be mistaken, this is not about luck alone. Knowledge is power. The more familiar you are with the nuances of the 2009 no-mint mark penny, the greater your chances of recognizing one before it disappears into someone else's collection. Understanding its design, knowing the variations, and being alert to unusual traits can transform a casual coin enthusiast into a serious contender in this high-stakes world. And here's where suspense hits its peak, because the reality is that many of these coins may never surface. Some are tucked away in private collections, never seen by the public. Others may be lost to time, accidentally melted down, or left unnoticed in circulation. Each passing year increases the rarity, and with it, the value. Every coin that survives intact becomes exponentially more significant, more desirable, and more valuable. So, if you have even a single 2009 penny without a mint mark, you're holding more than metal. You're holding possibility, the thrill of potential wealth, the allure of history, the chance to discover a hidden fortune in plain sight. And while the odds may seem long, the rewards, both emotional and financial, are extraordinary. Now, imagine checking every coin in your drawer, every roll in your cabinet, and suddenly, there it is, a penny with no mint mark. Your pulse quickens, your mind races. Could this be the coin that turns your world upside down? And just like that, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, the everyday becomes legendary, and your curiosity transforms into life-changing discovery. That, my friends, is the magic of the 2009 no mint mark Lincoln cent. A simple coin with the power to amaze, inspire, and reward those patient enough to search, knowledgeable enough to recognize, and bold enough to act. Every coin tells a story, but few can ever match the drama, suspense, and sheer potential of this tiny piece of history. So, as you go about your day, glance at the pennies in your wallet, the jars on your shelves, the rolls in your drawers. One of them could be the coin that makes headlines, the coin that turns ordinary life into an extraordinary adventure. The 2009 Lincoln cent with no mint mark isn't just a coin, it's a hidden treasure waiting to be claimed.